for him.
Yeah, come on, warm it up.
Because Paul's getting a bit upset that there's snow in forecast this week, Ian. So, have we got any signs of spring?
So
you are.
So are we. No, yeah, we've got the curlews came back. They landed on the 16th of February this year. And that's a forebear of spring. It's, we won't see a swallow for a while yet. Swifts will come about 3-4 weeks after the swallows, but yeah, the curlew, it's one of the first that we notice, and that first warble as they start to pair is it's magical every year, absolutely magical.
And Emma, that's a big part of your farm, isn't it? Working alongside those curlews.
It certainly is, yeah. That's a passion passed on by my dad, or obviously my granddad as well, but it's come to me that the backbone of the farm is totally done around the birds. We can't take any grass off. There's no hay cut until the birds have flown. But I'm so excited when the curlews first come back, and then when they start nesting, it's magic.
And how long before they're nesting?
Well, they're starting to pair now, so they will start to build nests. The problem we've got is loss of habitat. They're on the red list, so they're quite seriously endangered. And the UK is responsible for a large population of curlews, or a percentage of the world's curlews. And here they are on the red endangered list. So habitat loss has been sort of key, and we're trying to sort of make sure that that's not a case here. Look after them. They were here before.
So what kind of things do you do to ensure then that the habitat is not just, managed, but maybe expanded a little bit for the curlews?
So we don't do any rolling or chain harrowing when they started nesting. We use a bedding muck, it's really good shelter. It hides, it camouflages the eggs, yeah. So the bedding muck goes on, and other than that, we do nothing. We just let them have their space. It is their field. The flowers, the grasses, everything grows around them. Excuse me, but we don't touch anything.
Another sign of spring that I haven't seen a lot on dairy farms in Lancs as I've been going around is you've got cows in the field. You've got dairy milkers in the field.
They've been out a couple of times in February. As soon as it's dry, let them out, let them stretch their legs. The ladies, all that pent-up frustration over winter.
So we keep shorthorns, and they're opinionated, they're strong, and if we don't open the gate, certain cows, especially Hyacinth behind us, will take the gate off its hinge, and they've gone anywhere.
That gate that's tied there, a bit of farmer's friend bale twine there. It was taken off the hinges this morning. So yeah, that was because the others went out and they said we're going out with them.
And we're in a, so that's two great signs of spring, and we're surrounded at the minute by lots of calves. So all year round, I know you have, but it does feel like new life, spring life around the farm.
Yeah, I think we've got a lot of calves at the minute. We wouldn't normally perhaps have as many as we've got. We tend to calve all year round, but we had a little bit of a problem with a bull. So yeah, during the back end of lockdown, we had a bull that had a fertility problem. He was a bit subfertile. He had sperm, but it didn't swim very well apparently. So
okay.
So while everyone else was panic buying toilet rolls, we were out panic buying a bull. So we ended up.
You just got in trolley beep beep and bully special price. So there you go, Paul. We've got a few signs of spring and a few new babies on the farm, thanks to the new bull.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good to hear that. Can you really panic buy a bull?
well, they have done. And what's the new bull's name?
Foggy. Foggy's the new lad.
We're going to go and see Foggy in a bit, Carl. Carl Fogarty. Sorry, Paul. Yeah. I got Carl Fogarty. Carl Fogarty in my head then, didn't I? Immediately thought, is it named after Carl Fogarty?
No, his pedigree's.
What's he called?
Brad Hill Fogarthorpe Prince.
That's his real name. We're going to go see him in a bit, Paul.
Oh, he said
that's a
right.
proper.
Keep your distance. I've not filled that for him in. So,
have you not done for him for bull rearing?
No, I didn't know about Foggy. Just before you put the right coat on, then today's not a bad day to be out and about. Or if you can be somewhere that you're watching the outside, maybe from the other side of the glass, as Stephen seems to be, then it's a good day to be out. But come on, let's cross back there again. Stephen, you're still outside, are you? It's disappeared. Yeah,
hello?
He's disappeared. Oh, hello. Here we go.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead, Stephen. Go on. You're back on.
Oh, that's back. Well, we've come outside because wonderful new building that we're inside, Emma. It blocked the signal with the thick oak.
Yeah, it's like a little TARDIS in there, isn't it?
It is like a little TARDIS. Yeah, we've got you wander around the farm, and we were with the cows, and we'll be back with the pigs in a moment or two, Paul. But there is this fantastic brand new oak structure which just looks simply magnificent, and this is the latest venture here at Gazegill Organics, a farm that for 500 years has been in the same family but never stops evolving, Emma.
No, yeah, we don't want to get bored, do we?
This is huge.
Yeah, it is a lot bigger now we've built it than it looked on paper, I have to admit, but I'm so excited. It's been a long time. We've been talking about opening a restaurant or cafe here for 10 plus years just to do the full circle eating, but now it's very real. We're choosing chairs to go in there. It's very close to opening.
You're choosing chairs. Are you allowed to choose?
The bills are very real at the minute. Yeah, we are. We've just chosen some furnishings last week. The wood-fired oven, the char grill, is being made in London, and it's all going to be wood-fired. So everything from the grill, cooked on wood, charcoal, tandoor oven, really exciting. So lots of little plates, so taster plates rather than full-on meal.
Okay, I see. So a different way. How many people are you going to be able to accommodate? Because it is a large structure, this.
Well, we've stopped at 121 covers because it could have gone on. So we just said, let's cut our teeth on 121. We've got probably 140 outside in this outside seating area. So in summer, there's good outside areas, and we're just on with finishing the landscaping, stone walling, everything. Which just every moment is putting stone on a wall. Everywhere
you look, you've turned the view. I mean, the view itself, as we look now, we've got the flat green field up to the river, to the beck in front of us. It's the trees are all. In fact, the hazels coming out. The hazels have got their flowers on at the minute, and then the hills, the fields kind of rise up above us, and then they're towering, looking like dark and menacing now. To be honest, is the back of Pendle. Although which is the back, I don't know. But it could be the front of Pendle from here, isn't it? I guess. And so the view, Emma, is just amazing.
It is absolutely stunning. This is part of why we've got so many glass windows in there, so you can see the view and actually appreciate that you're sat in the meadow. And when you sat outside on the patio, hopefully you can hear the beautiful birds all around us.
Well, there's no passing traffic. It's bird song, and that's why this place, it had to evolve. We didn't design it. It evolved over a few years, and it's been a long time coming. But the reason was because we had to sit in it. We had to work out where things were going to go. We didn't want to lose the aspect of the view. And wherever you sat in the restaurant, you have that aspect and that view.
And you mentioned the landscape, and you've put this beautiful stone wall around, quite close to the building, where your patio's going. Then in the distance, even you've planted a heck of a lot of trees. And are there bees over there behind that? It's not just a normal kind of post and rail fence. It's these diamond shapes. That looks like a labour of love. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's very posh to keep bees in, isn't it? To say that they can fly over the top of it, but no, they are. It's hopefully everything we've done around the cafe is to look pretty, and the bees are the backbone of the farm as well. We need the meadows, and obviously the bees are there pollinating all of our beautiful flowers out there.
What's the date? Have you got a date for all the faces are dropping now, Paul? The faces, have we got
before COVID? So yeah, we went a bit wrong on that one, didn't we?
Okay, not the next pandemic, the last one.
The last one, yeah, we were a bit behind. It should have been on some sort of television programme, because every disaster you could have had, we've had. Even when we first bought the wood for the restaurant, we got a phone call from the wood yard saying, "We've just had a fire. Did you actually need this wood?" And it's the whole bill's sort of been like that ever since.
Should it be on that programme where they go, "Oh no," and then Jacinta's having triplets? That, you know the one I mean, where they've all of a sudden they built a shipping container into a some kind of modern day facility on a water tower.
Oh yeah, no, it's we've learnt a lot.
I bet you have.
So no, it has been enjoyable, frustrating, every emotion, tears, blood, sweat, you name it. But we've created what we hope is going to be a really special place. We're hoping end of April, beginning of May. You heard it here first.
There you go. They've put a date on it, Paul.
Yeah.
They've put it. You could see in their eyes. Yeah, they did not want to put that date on it.
No.
But yeah. I can honestly tell you, it is It's a beautiful, beautiful building. There's lots of green oak and shingles and big windows, and then this just you turn around and the view is just wow.
Yeah, because Rimington and all the Ribble Valley, really, what a place to have a restaurant that big. The only thing I can say, Stephen, is I hope it goes better than another farm that's been on the telly recently that also opened a restaurant, and I don't think that quite went according to plan, didn't it? Clarkson's farm, wasn't quite didn't go hitch free.
Let me describe this lovely scene. Right, so that we've come inside to the pigs, and there's a sow here with lots of little piglets, and the way that they farm here organically, we've got about a foot deep in straw, and there's a little black piglet and a little spotted kind of piglet, and they're burrowing underneath they're like big moles, Ian.
They are. They're great at this age because they're so entertaining. But yeah, they're hilarious. They're just going into the bed to get the warm though.
Yeah, they've just gone where Mum's been led, and now
absolutely, yeah. Get underneath and get into the warm bit. Call it a warmth of pigs. They pile up in a big heap.
Is that right?
I think that's what I call it. A collective noun, warmth of pigs.
A collective noun, a warmth of. I've got to ask you this. So your pigs that are here, is it financially? Is it a good idea? Because I'm hearing that a lot of people are getting out of the pig game, but you're organically keeping them.
Yeah, I mean, feed costs have gone through the roof. £740 a tonne. It's making pork that bit more expensive.
What was it? What's it gone up from?
It's gone up from 420.
Wow.
So it's almost double. That's a lot of money to sort of suddenly find. And pigs eat a lot. So we're actually supplement feeding them more hay, more haylage, bit of silage every now and then when we have some. And that's sort of trying to keep a lid on the costs, but ultimately, prices are rising. I think the problem is pork and chicken have been unrealistically suppressed in terms of price. There's no way you can rear, a 1.2 kilo bird for a fiver. It's just not. I don't think it's possible. Obviously, it is, but at what cost? Is it welfare? Is it quality? Is it? I was always taught you can have something that's quality, but it might cost you a lot, but it won't be quick. So there's only two ends of that triangle you can ever have. But the pork industry is struggling.
And you sell via the website, don't you? Quite a lot of your meat that you produce.
Yes, yeah. Thankfully, the online has been marvellous for us, and that's the one thing that we can say while we're keeping pigs, that we can tweak the prices. We're not just taking them into a market and hoping that we get a good price. We can adjust it in the shop, and thankfully, things like bacon or whatever, you can adjust it. We've got nitrate bacon, and one of the only places in the country that actually can say we've got nitrate free.
What does that mean?
It's nitrates and nitros aren't in there. They can be carcinogenic, and we've been tested by trading standards. It's totally clear. So
I've learned something there.
It's one of our niche products.
Okay,
it's processed meats. This issue about processed meats
for bacon and sausage.
Not being particularly good for us. Well, take the nitrates out of them. Take the pink curing salts out and replace it with natural. We've had to do a lot of research on. Mediterranean sea salt is better than Atlantic sea salt for nitrates. I'm not saying it's better either to eat, but I like both. But we've done a lot of research to actually get to a very old curing recipe. The only thing it doesn't do is it doesn't keep the bacon as pink as it would normally. When you cook it, it's slightly pink, but it's not as pink as you'd expect bacon to be. So that, once you get your head around that, but you're eating healthy bacon.
It's interesting that, Paul. Every week we go out and about, and I seem to learn something new. And kind of just as common old garden as your bacon butty. Yeah. And, we're learning
the thing about it is, Stephen, who needs pink bacon? You don't, is that like what the supermarkets or, I don't know, just society in general, is it, bacon, it's pink. Well, but it doesn't have to be, does it? No,
it's right. Ian, Paul saying, do we really need pink bacon? We've been taught, haven't we, all the different coloured foods, what look well in a packet or on the shelf in a supermarket, really.
We've been conditioned, and we've been conditioned to everything we eat. It's mainly for the retailer, actually. They sell us what they want to sell us.
I've got to ask you, what's the one cut of pork that goes quickest when you put it on the website? Is there one that really flies out?
Bacon's always a big seller, always a big seller. But pork shoulder, it's a nice joint, is pork shoulder.
Stephen, can I just ask you, like you were saying there, then that the mother pig and the piglets there also, it just looks just lovely, isn't it? But I'm just wondering, I once remember taking my dog for a walk on the lead in a field full of cows and young cows. And I was thankful to get out of that field, both of us, me and the dog, with our lives, because they really, really didn't like the dog's presence. And I just wondered whether, I mean, you know, is Mum Pig there happy to have you around? Or I mean, would you ask Ian, you know, has he ever got on the wrong end of a pig?
Yeah. Have you ever got on the wrong end of a pig? Are they gentle souls, or do they have a term where they might turn at you and...
A nasty streak.
Pigs? Yeah, they got a nasty streak, you
It's
see.
the same as any animal. It's how you treat that animal. If you're bad to a pig, it will remember you, and it can be aggressive. But talk to a pig, you know, they understand that anatomically they're so similar to us digestively and you know, that side of it. But they're intelligent, super intelligent.
I'll just tell you this, Paul. When I was at school and should have been in a lesson, and I spent a bit of time on a farm up Oswaldtwistle, and they had Belgian Blue, they also had some pigs. And if it was a hot day and you got a yard brush and a bucket full of ice cold water and scrubbed them pigs back with a yard brush, they absolutely loved you. You had a friend for life. That's right, Ian?
No,
Yeah, really? Well, yeah, imagine that. A pig as a friend for life. Why not? Eh? We'll be back with Stephen in a few minutes here on BBC Radio Lancashire. I want to talk to you as well. In fact, whilst we were talking...
It'd be nice just not to have an icicle hanging off end of my nose. It is though. We need the seasons, though. We do need the seasons. I'm wondering, let me just bring that into Ian. First, let me ask you, what is organic? What's the difference? And do we need the seasons to be organic? Do you know what I mean?
big question, really big question. But in a nutshell, I think Emma's dad always used to answer it with, it's not what's in it that matters, it's what's not in it that matters. So every input onto the farm, every bit of food, everything is tested and pre-approved, so that we can trace pig food back to the field it was grown in. It's a very, very complex, in my head it's complex, way of documenting everything you do on farm. But it's about traceability, trust, no GMOs, minimising use of medicines where you can. Organic farming's been headlining the limiting the use of antibiotics because of microbial resistance. I mean, it's a bigger subject than that, but in a nutshell.
And Emma, the seasons, you know, having the curlews coming back, having some cold weather, do you know what I mean about with you being organic? You're kind of working with the land rather than against it.
Yeah, winter for us is amazing because it's the antibacterial. The frost comes along and kills all the bacteria, and the fields are ready to go in the spring. So yeah, winter for us is absolutely vital.
And we've got the next generation here, haven't we? Do you want to introduce our next important guest?
This is our middle one, Izzy. So Miss Isabel, 14, very nearly 15.
Going
on 19.
Going on. And what's it been like growing up on the farm? You've got friends who aren't on farms. Can you compare? Has it been great?
More complicated than not living on a farm. Yeah, living on a farm, it's more like there's always something more to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my Oliver, he thinks he's hard done to if I give him a couple of jobs at end of week. Is it constant work for you on the farm?
Constant. It's all the time. Yeah.
Do you milk?
Sometimes.
So for somebody who's not ever milked, who's listening now to you, 14, nearly 15, what's milking like?
Cold.
It's very cold.
Cold and wet.
Cold and wet.
Is that it?
It takes a long time, but it's physical. Yeah. It's quite.
Is it one of your favourite jobs or not?
Probably not, but
I like the way she laughed then, Ian. What are your favourite jobs on the farm? What are the things that you like doing?
looking after my horse. It's not too bad. Looking after animals, like when you feed them and you get to just talk to them, and then when it gets to lambing time, lambing the sheep, that's fun because they're so cute.
Yeah. I know you're lambing yet. Have you got lambs yet?
Not yet, no.
No. How far before you're lambing? Do you know? Is it far off?
It's not far off.
Because of the shop. It's a constant. We've always got babies coming along. It's not. We don't do block carving or block lambing. There's a few dribs and drabs most of the time.
And has this interaction with being on the farm and feeding and milking and with yours, has it made you want to continue in agriculture at the minute, or are you looking at possibly other careers at the moment?
Definitely. I definitely want to continue it because it's been here for such a long time. It'd be kind of disappointing to let it down and stop. But yeah, I definitely want to carry on.
Yeah. And you're famous, aren't you? No? You're a little bit famous.
Tiny bit.
Why is she famous here?
She body doubled for one of the actresses, young actresses in Gentleman Jack. We supplied a lot of cows for their sets, and they didn't want one of the actresses milking a cow by hand in case they got kicked. So it was okay for Izzy to get kicked because she's used to it.
Was that right? They sacrificed. You said you could get kicked.
Hyacinth wouldn't kick anyone. Really.
Oh, is she a nice cow?
Nice, yeah.
So you milked a cow on TV on what was one of the most popular TV programmes of the year?
Yeah. I was in the background of Saran Jones just walking through the middle. What scene? Yeah, through Shibden Hall, yeah.
Look at that now. We've gone from superstar food and pork and beef to superstar in the making daughter there, haven't we?
No, she enjoyed it. I think we were talking before. It's a lot of sitting around, a lot of waiting. She even had her own caravan with a name on the door.
Did you really? Yeah. You are famous then. Paul, have you ever had a caravan with your name on the door?
That's just brilliant, that, isn't it? I have to say... Yeah, but the thing about Izzy is she had to run the gauntlet of possibly being kicked, you know. I mean, that's not part of the deal somehow, really, is it?
Yeah. Well, then she said, though, what was the name of the cow, Izzy, again?
Hyacinth.
Hyacinth wouldn't kick her because she's lovely. So she was safe, weren't she? So job was... But yeah, imagine that. Right, you can be on telly, one of the most famous programmes going, Paul, but there's just one caveat. You might end up with an oof somewhere you don't want it. I'll be like, no, you're all right. I'll let Izzy do it. She's braver than me. Job's a good one.
Oh, man. Well, yeah. And I tell you what, it's weird, isn't it, to have dramas like you do. You know, it all looks absolutely brilliant. And Gentleman Jack was quite a series, wasn't it? It was quite something. So to be able to see that she's taken part in that, but also made it happen because... As you say, Saran Jones might be a brilliant actress, but doesn't want to be kicked by a cow in the Ribble Valley.
Doesn't want to be kicked by a cow, no. No milking there by Saran. Beautiful. Jobs are good. Should we have a wander around and see what else we can find, Paul?
Indeed, yeah. It's 4:00 right now on BBC Radio Lancashire, so we'll be back live at Gazegill Farm in Rimington in the Ribble Valley in a little while from now. You're at Gazegill Farm, weren't you? Where they don't do things like that, I'm sure.
No, there's no superstition here. I don't think it's all just down to pure hard work and graft and working with the environment. And it has got a bit cold, and we've killed one fawn in the freezing that just happened. And
Is that why you're on the telephone now? Because your broadcast equipment is frozen?
Yeah, my equipment froze. So I've had to borrow a phone, dial in, and now, so it might sound slightly different. But the cows, Paul, have just started to wander back down. So the cows are out in the fields, which is unusual, you know, for the beginning of March. And Ian, they've been out for most of the day, haven't they?
Yeah, well, I said I'm surprised they didn't sort of turn back at lunchtime. There's not a lot of grass out there, but... Yeah, it's nice for them to get out, stretch their legs. They have had heads down, so there must be some grass out there. But they've come back into... I fed them breakfast this morning, which they didn't eat because they went out. So they're having breakfast for tea.
So they've come to eat what's in there. And is it milking time now, then?
It's very nearly milking time. I think they've got a slight conscience that they thought best go and eat something before it's work time. So yeah, they're in. But they're taking great interest in you, so they might be coming to talk shortly.
They might be wandering over to have a chat. And you've had a food van here today. You put some stuff on social media to get people. And it's been a massive success, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been great because a lot of people have come. They've eaten something. The food has been absolutely superb. It really has blown people away. And this is a food family. He sits at Springwood. It's Lee.
Yeah, we've recognised Lee from Springwood when we've done our outside broadcast.
Yeah, so he's given up his day. He's come here. You know, we've put some meat his way, and he's cooked it, and everyone's had a bit of a feed.
And they've been able to come and see your developments on the farm, haven't they? Which are just spectacular, as we said earlier.
Yes, every time if we pop to a supermarket, if we get stopped in the street or whatever, everyone keeps asking, how's this restaurant? How's it coming on? When can we get a coffee in there? So I just thought the best thing to do is say, right, the door's open, go and have a look round.
Nearly there. Nearly there. Well, listen, we really, really appreciate your time you've given us today, because you have been tremendously busy. We've learnt a thing or two, Paul, which is always good, isn't it? Always out and about. And I'm going to go and have a wander around with the cows. Is that all right? You ever wander with cows?
Go and have a wander. They'll lick you at best.
Well, I'm going to go and have because these are so placid. They have got their horns, but they're very placid. So I think we'll have... Do I need to do a risk assessment?
You do, yeah. Rather you than me, to be honest with you. Yeah, absolutely. Stephen, thank you so much for talking to us today and for braving it in the cold, even though your equipment's frozen. I tell you what, I'm not giving up. I'm going to try to keep playing the warm weather in.